Mr. President, I rise today to speak in opposition to an amendment offered by Senator McCain pertaining to the Merchant Marine Act of 1920, popularly referred to as the Jones Act. I, of course, start by saying that the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, Senator McCain, has a distinguished record of support for our men and women in the military and cares deeply about our national security. But on this amendment, I respectfully disagree with our chairman. I'd like to take a few minutes this morning to remind my colleagues just why the Jones Act is an essential component of our national security policy, and shipbuilding is a foundational component of American manufacturing. The Jones Act requires that maritime vessels engaged in shipping goods between U.S. ports must meet 3 requirements. They must be built in the United States, at least 75% owned by United States citizens, and operated by United States citizens. The Jones Act helps to shore up our national security by providing reliable sea lift in times of war. It ensures our ongoing viability as an ocean power by protecting American shipbuilders. As a result, the Jones Act provides solid, well-paying jobs for nearly 500,000 Americans from Virginia to Hawaii. In short, the Jones Act promotes national security and American job creation. Therefore, I am unclear why some of my colleagues are opposed to this common sense law. I don't simply say this as a member from an island state where we depend on the reliability offered by American shippers for fresh food, energy, and other everyday goods. But I say this as a senator who cares deeply about supporting our strong and growing middle class and creating American jobs. First, shipbuilding is a major job-creating industry. According to the Maritime Administration, there were 107,000 people directly employed by roughly 300 shipyards across 26 states in 2013. Additionally, shipyards indirectly employed nearly 400,000 people across the country. This amendment would specifically knock out the Jones Act provision that requires U.S. flagged ships be built in the United States, jeopardizing good-paying jobs, middle-class jobs. To me, that's reason enough to oppose this amendment. Secondly, this is not the time to create the instability this amendment would directly cause. After struggling through tough times, America's shipbuilding industry is coming back. Both this Congress and the administration have long stressed the need for creating and keeping manufacturing jobs here at home in the United States. According to the Navy League, there are 15 tanker ships being built here in the U.S. right now and slated to join our U.S. flag fleet. The fact is, these ships don't create quick turnaround jobs, but are hundreds of thousands of well-paying, long-term manufacturing jobs. If these ships are not built here in U.S. shipyards by U.S. workers, where will they be built? Where will these jobs go? China? Other Asian countries? Europe? The shipbuilding industry in our country is rebounding. Repealing the Jones Act is a step in the wrong direction. Instead of dismantling a policy that supports American jobs, Congress should be focused on doing more to promote and grow American jobs, American manufacturing. Repealing the Jones Act's requirement to build ships here in the United States will unquestionably cost U.S. jobs and weaken our position as a manufacturing leader. These are 2 strikes against the amendment. The third and final strike is the fact that the amendment would undermine our national and homeland security. The Jones Act requirements, along with the American shipbuilding and maritime industries they underpin, provide American-built ships and crews for use by the Department of Defense in times of need. It is easy to see why the Navy and Coast Guard strongly oppose repeal of the Jones Act and all of its components. The Defense Department has concluded, quote, "We believe that the ability of the nation to build and maintain a U.S. flag fleet is in the national interest, and we also believe it is in the interest of the DoD for U.S. shipbuilders to maintain a construction capability for commercial vessels," end quote. Therefore, there's 3 strikes against this amendment. If adopted, the amendment would dismantle the Jones Act, costing American jobs, hurting American manufacturing, and undermining our national security. I ask my colleagues to stand with me, and I certainly ask the chair of the Armed Services Committee to change his mind on this and stand with nearly 500,000 middle-class Americans and vote against this amendment if it is brought up for a vote. I yield the floor.